So these 6 behavior changes can very quickly transform the way you feel about public speaking. The number one way is to practice like crazy. Practicing is not a quick fix, but it's the best way to feel better. Dale Carnegie once said that only the prepared speaker deserves to be confident. I recommend practicing a presentation 10 times behind the scenes, spread out over a few days beforehand to really let it sink in. Even if you still feel those butterflies, you can be confident that you are prepared. Trust in your preparation process. If you've already gone through the presentation 10 times in practice, now you're just going to do that presentation the 11th time. And as I've often said, 95% of how a presentation comes out is determined by how you practice. So even if you're still nervous, that won't stop you as a prepared speaker from doing a strong presentation. So practice like crazy and trust that process. Number 2, as you prepare, focus on your message and your audience. The 3 parts of a public speaking situation are the speaker, audience, and message. Speakers who get the most nervous focus on themselves. What if I mess up? What if they don't like me? And when we focus on ourselves and being perfect, we can psych ourselves out. I would say that perfectionism and that threat of feeling judged are the 2 biggest problems that we focus on, and that we're thinking about ourselves in most of that. Instead, as you prepare and as you speak, focus all your effort on your message and your audience. How can you best help your listeners? Focus on how to sharpen your message, the examples, the stories, so the message is the best it can be. And this is what great coaches and teachers do. If they share an example that doesn't go that well, they don't take it personally. They don't focus on them. They just move on and look for another example that will resonate with listeners. So focus on your message and helping your listeners before and during your presentation, not on yourself. Number 3, visualize the first 30 seconds as all positive. This will help you reduce that spike of nerves you feel at the beginning. I make this visualization really hands-on. As I practice, I imagine myself walking up to the front, being introduced by the person running the event, and I picture myself speaking the first few sentences effectively. I picture people sitting there, looking happy. I picture it playing out in a positive way over and over again. This helps me feel good about the beginning, but it also helps me start on the right foot because visualizing is another way to rehearse. Number 4, and I love this one, get there early and walk the room. I always arrive early and walk around the room before it's full. I walk up and down every aisle. I look at the stage or the podium from the empty seats. Then I stand in the front of the room or at the podium and I size up the room. This makes the whole event seem smaller somehow and more manageable. I've heard that many professional athletes walk through the seats in the stadium when it's still empty before a big game. This will make the space feel like familiar territory. I spend a few moments at the podium or on the stage, and again, I imagine or quietly rehearse how the first few sentences will come out of my mouth and where I'll stand. This one tip, walking the room like this, takes only about 2 minutes and always calms my nerves by at least 50%. Number 5, get to know your audience beforehand. Learn everything you can about your actual audience, the real people who are going to be there. Reducing our uncertainty reduces our anxiety. And if I have a list of attendees ahead of time, I learn as many names as I can. I also mingle before any presentation. I shake some hands, I break the ice and make small talk about their backgrounds. I take a genuine interest in the people. This helps me feel like I already have some people I know and who are on my side. It also gives me something to do right before I speak. It's a helpful distraction. If I'm focused on getting to know other people, I'm not thinking about myself. And number 6, take deep breaths in and out through your nose. And I don't mean metaphorically. I mean while you're sitting there waiting to be introduced, inhale deeply through your nose and exhale all the way through your nose. And you can try with me right now. I'm not a physician, but I've both heard and experienced these benefits. Slow, deep breathing like this lowers our heart rate, blood pressure and tells our brains to relax. From what I understand and from personal experience, when we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, that can actually get our adrenaline pumping even more and can increase our nerves. That's the way MMA fighters and other athletes get fired up. But breathing in through our nose this way and out through our nose is the way we breathe when we sleep deeply and when we naturally relax. So I'll put a summary of all these tips up in a moment, but before I do, I want to remind you that you can find a free PDF download for these 6 tips to be more confident and composed public speakers. I'll put that in the description below. And there are also direct links to my other online classes and the video I mentioned about the 6 mindset tips to reduce your anxiety. And as we look at these 6 behavioral tips, my question for the day for you is, which one of these do you believe will help you make the most immediate progress? Please comment below. I look forward to reading your comments. And remember that both mindset changes and behavioral changes are great ways to manage your speaking anxiety.